Hi everybody, how are you? It is Georgia Rose and I'm back in the soul space on this beautiful Cancer full moon. So I am going to let everybody into the soul space tonight. I hope we have a lot of people online. I'm a little discombobulated because I was a few minutes late getting to the studio tonight. It's just like kind of a snowy rain mix here in New York where I am, and I have to say, you'd think people were driving like they were in Florida. No offense to any Floridians there. So, getting online here. So tonight we're going to talk about the Cancer full moon. I'm going to give you a whole forecast on that. Today's energy coming in will probably be with us for about 2 or 3 days or so. And after that, we are going to do some cards. I know you haven't had cards in a while on the show, so I want to get some cards going, see how some of our energy is tonight. So welcome to the Soul Space. For those of you who are just tuning in, the Soul Space is a place where every Monday at 7 o'clock we all come and we discuss things that are beyond the 5 senses. And we have all kinds of stuff. You can actually call into the show, and my producer Bobby will put that on the show right now. And what was that number on the Wi-Fi again? Great. You can tell I'm a little off today. New computer, everything. And I was looking so cute when I first walked into when I left the house. And then I come into the studio and this big wind comes and totally does my hair and everything wrong. So you'll have to help me out a little bit tonight, hopefully by calling into the show to cheer me up. So let's get started by talking about the Cancer full moon. Let's see who I have online here tonight. If anybody's online yet. I have Monica here and I have Janine here. They are our regulars. We're going to have to give them a badge status so that we know they're on the show all the time. I'm also going to share the show right now to my page so people know we are live. And if you want any other information on Zencuda and the Soul Space, you can like us on Facebook. You can also look at us on Instagram at Zencuda Official. And we have a great YouTube channel. So if you ever miss a show, you can always catch it later on YouTube. And we also, believe it or not, if you ask your Amazon Alexa, Alexa, play the Soul Space podcast with Georgia Rose, you'll also get an episode. And in addition to that, you can also find me on or any podcast platform, actually, we're on. So you can find me all over. So copy on the page. Okay, got it. So we're going to talk about the Cancer full moon. This is a very intense full moon tonight because of a couple of reasons. First of all, we have Mercury just went retrograde, which this retrograde is a little bit different than most retrogrades. We're going to talk about that. And also, we have Uranus, that pesky planet of sudden unexpected change, coming out of retrograde and going direct. And when that happens, usually something volcanic happens. And as we all know, the Tonga volcano exploded today over in the Pacific Islands. And so I knew something like that was going to happen. I think if you look back on my January forecast, we actually talk a little bit about something happening with the earth moving or some kind of volcanic or some kind of earth type eruption. So this particular Cancer full moon is a little bit different than the way Cancer usually acts in our charts. Cancer is an energy that is usually very heart-based and all about family and friends. But this particular Cancer full moon actually is going to be a little bit more about collaboration. It's going to feel a little bit more detached than most Cancer full moons do. But for those of you who have a lot of signs in Cancer, you may actually feel it pretty intensely. But for the rest of us, it's probably going to, come across as something that will be revealed to us in a way that we want to do something a little differently in the area of home, family, processes, things like that. So I'm going to put this on the Zencuda page for you guys so that you can find us. Here we go. Just going to copy and paste that link. I have to get somebody to do this for me so I don't have to interrupt the show anymore. So Cancer full moon is going to come in and it's going to feel to us very feely, touchy-feely. A lot of times Cancer full moons puts us in touch with our spidey senses. So when that happens, you're going to feel it in kind of sometimes a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling, but also just can make you a lot more sensitive to emotion. That's the way Cancer usually plays out. But being that this is about family and relationships, community relationships, if you belong to any groups or community groups, spiritual groups, things like that, your yoga community. That's all going to come into play in the idea of cooperation. If there's been some kind of a conflict in your life where you've actually been the immature one, this full moon is going to kind of shed light on that, and you're going to actually see the way that you can cooperate and maybe be more in harmony with that person or community or group. Venus is going to be finishing her retrograde cycle around the 29th. So that's probably when you're going to learn what these relationships have been about, this relationship is in importance in your life, how it's important. And this Cancer full moon is kind of bringing that to the surface quite a bit. So let's talk about and pull apart a little bit that word collaboration. So when we collaborate with people, we cooperate, right? And cooperation and collaboration means that we have to share something. We actually have to step into a place of vulnerability a little bit. And that sometimes makes us a little uncomfortable. And that could be when our immaturity comes up. And that's definitely a Cancer trait, because Cancers, as soon as they feel anything that's uncomfortable, they go in their shell. So what I'm going to implore you all to do during this beautiful full moon is try not to do that. Try not to totally detach. Try not to go in your shell. You want to embrace whatever is being highlighted for you, so that whatever relationship comes into focus right now and for the next few days, you can actually go into a place of collaboration and cooperation to bring it into harmony. The Sun and Pluto were conjunct this weekend. I did a whole video about that. You can find it on my page on Facebook, and it'll be on YouTube shortly. The Sun meeting Pluto in the sky is a really big thing for us, because that also brings things out from the depth that shows us new ways and new perceptions that we can have in regard to the processes in our life and how we process information. You know, what are your triggers and what do you do when you're triggered? Those things are all going to start to change, especially as we go into 2022. 2022, the themes for 2022, energetically and also simply astrologically, are all about change, profound change, change that's brought about by polarization. And we've been seeing that happen in 2020 and 2021. You know, just because the year and the calendar changes chronologically, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're in completely fresh energy. Every year builds on every year, just like our own life cycle. So we're not through the things that are 20 and 21's conflicts and polarizations, you know, the freedom versus control, the feeling of wanting to have our own autonomy and freedom and not being told what to do against a structure that's very regimented. And those things are going to get a lot more in play this year, but in maybe a little bit of a softer way as we drill them down to our own lives and our own microcosms. But what's going to happen is we're going to find different ways to cope. We've been in this syndrome with a worldwide pandemic for 2 years, and our emotions and our lives have run the gamut in the extremes, and we've been polarized in all different ways. And so now the energy that's coming in is an energy that's going to show us new ways to cope with that. Instead of being in conflict with it and pushing against it, we're going to find ways to be in harmony and collaboration and cooperate with the energy in a different way. And this full moon really sets the tone for the year in that regard. So you really want to pay attention to whatever comes up during this full moon and make sure that you are not resisting it, but you're really cooperating with it. Because that Sun Pluto that we're just coming off of now with the last couple of days is really going to highlight some things that might require healing and making you vulnerable. You know, this is an energy where our vulnerabilities start to come up a little bit and crack a little bit. And our response, our instinct is going to tell us that we want to go back in our shell, and that's really not the right thing to do. So be brave, all my beautiful Zencudas, and try to really face whatever comes up for you. The other thing that's going to happen is Uranus goes direct tomorrow. And Uranus has been the planet that's really played a lot into our lives in 2021. We had Uranus really squaring Pluto quite a bit. We had the Uranus square Saturn the year before and earlier in the 2021. And that is what set off this whole COVID thing in 2020 when we had that big conjunction in December. And it set off all the energy of the polarization that we had with the racial things in the country, the political things in the country, all kinds of freedom versus control. Uranus is a planet of freedom. When Uranus comes into your chart and transits anything in your chart in a certain way, it's a planet that wants to break free of the restrictions that you've had in your life. And that energy's really been playing hardball with us all year and even since 2020. So for the last 2 years, Uranus has really been in play. Now it comes out of a very strong retrograde and starts to move more quickly and direct. So that anything that's been kind of back and forth motion or anything that's you felt restricted about during this Uranus retrograde in your life, all of a sudden now is when the freedom really, opportunity for that freedom comes through for you and when you really have a chance to grab it. What I'm going to suggest for everyone is when that happens, try not to overplay your hand. Try not to want to break free in a place of revolution or rebellion. You want to break free in a very steady, strong, foundational, structured but loosely way, because the decisions that you make now are going to affect the next 2 decades of your life, the next 20 years of your life. So you really want to make sure that you play into them and do the right thing. So this all comes into a big place of giving us the opportunity for some soul work and to do some personal work on ourselves. So when you think about all these energies, what is our soul work right now? How can we be in alignment with what the universe is putting out there? You know, we have these beautiful explosions and these eruptions that I say beautiful because they give us the opportunity to heal things. We call these healing crises, right? And we've certainly had a lot of them playing out in the world in our own lives. They're going to get intense in a different way in 2022, especially in the United States. The United States of America is a hot spot of energy, and it will be as we go into our Pluto return. The United States Pluto return brings us back to the energy of when the Declaration of Independence was signed, and all of the things that were going on in the country at that time are going to come back into a cycle where they either need to be healed or restructured. So this is about us really doing the work that we need to do in order to not go into bypass or denial, which is very Cancerian, you know, go in that little shell. This is when, if you're trying to go into a bypass or a denial of anything, it's going to blow up in your face just like the volcano just did in the South Pacific. Hate to be graphic, but that's the energy of 2022. Truth will prevail. We're going to see a lot of rebellion and a lot of revolution, especially in America, but it's all about making you come out of that shell. You know, it's like exploding the shell on the crab. You have no place to go. Where the discomfort will reach a threshold that's actually going to be beautiful for us, because then we have to do something about it. So this is a time when the United States of America becomes a hot spot, and it's all about our structures, our beliefs, our laws, and what's going to happen is they're going to become restructured in very big ways. And this is going to play out over the next few years in our country. Financially, the financial markets, the way we use commerce, the way we use business, political. You may even see a new party spring up. Geographically, things are going to be different in the United States somehow geographically. This is all going to come into play during that Pluto return. And so prepare for it. You want to be able to manage, adapt, cope, and do it in a way that's not putting you into a bypass or a denial. We all have coping mechanisms in our life, right? We all have times in our life when we're in illusion. We don't see things clearly. And that's going to be a big theme in 2022, because we've got some really major planets going into Pisces. And Neptune's in Pisces, which is a lot of illusion, a lot of fogginess, a lot of foggy brain, right? What is true, what is not true. But in this energy that's coming in for this year, this is about having our illusions become impossible to sustain. Whether that's because of something that happens in a structure in our society, or whether it happens because of something that we believed in our life, the things that we put in place that we think are our security, that we think we have to hide behind, those defense mechanisms, making ourselves invisible instead of facing abuse, making ourselves unheard instead of rocking the boat. You know, all the classic cliche things that we do for defense mechanisms. The energy of 2022 is we are no longer going to be able to sustain those, because the light is becoming stronger and stronger that illuminates those places. So as we find ways to manage, adapt, and cope, these illusions fall away. We don't need them anymore. We have enough illumination in our life to believe in truth and face truth with a lot of courage and valor. And that's really the theme. And so we have some soul work to do with that. And I'm going to get to that in 1 second. But I just want to say that this is also a year, keeping all that in mind. 2022 is a year where we're going to clear a lot of karma. And if you think about that in relation to the macrocosm of the United States of America being in a Pluto return, and you think back to the energy of when the United States of America were created, right? When our politics were created and our Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were signed, think about what was the karma, right? What happened in our nation, slave trading, North versus South eventually, right? So there was revolution, there was rebellion, there was forgiveness that had to happen, right? These are all ongoing themes. So if we now time hop into 2022 and think about how some of those very same themes are playing out, I don't even have to go into the detail. I think you can all pretty much see it, right? So that's how timelines work, especially when you look at the astrology. It brings back the energetic imprints in order for them to be healed or karmically transmuted. So what's going on in your life that needs to be healed, transmuted, in order for you to open more, dispel your own illusions about some defense mechanisms you might have in place, in order for you to live a more vibrant, healthy, thriving life where you allow more love in. That's 2022 in a nutshell. So how do you do the soul work? So the soul work is, are you ready to release, acknowledge, and adjust? So first we have to release something, right? Something happens to us, or some habit that we have that we really need to release. We need to let go of it. We need to, sweep the porch clean a little bit. I always use that expression. What's on your porch? Put your porch light on and look. Take a real hard look. What's on your porch, right? I wrote a post today about our lives being a lot like Amazon, right? You can only get the delivery if the door's open. Well, you can only receive if your heart's open. So what's on your porch? What have you thrown out on the porch to discard? What is sitting on the porch that you won't allow in? Who's on your porch, right? So are you able to release what shouldn't be there? Release what's not serving to be on your space, right? And then acknowledging that. Acknowledging, number one, that it was there, that whatever it is happened, that yes, I used to be that, yes, I used to do that, yes, that was terrible, but it doesn't have to be my life now. Whatever that may be, release it, acknowledge it, and then adjust. What is your adjustment? What's your new way? What's your new perception? How now are you going to, if this comes on your porch again, deal with it? Because you're not going to do what you used to do, right? We're going to change it all. So that's really one of the questions we need to ask ourselves. Release, acknowledge, adjust. How are we going to do things differently to allow more love in our life, right? What do we need to do? What no longer serves and what is now ineffective? What are we beginning and what are we ending 2021 with that's no longer effective that we don't want to bring into 2022? Sweep it off the porch. Release it, acknowledge it, and adjust. There's a new way. Something else is going to go in that space that enables you to love more in your life and receive more love in your life. Now revisit your thought process and your goals and what you were thinking about on January 1st. We all think January 1st is this magical day where we're going to sweep everything clean and we're going to have a whole new opportunity, a whole new year, a whole new life, a whole new whatever. What was your mindset then? What were you focused on? What do you really want to create now in thinking about what we just talked about here on the soul space? Applying the release, the acknowledge, and the adjustment to that thought process you had in the first of the month or around that time. Where are the things that need to be changed? Identify it. So you're going to release, you're going to acknowledge, you're going to adjust, and you are going to identify the areas that need to be changed. And then answer this question. And this is all about the Uranian energy going forward, that Uranus planet going direct. It's about the full moon in Cancer and not going into our shell. It's about the Pluto return coming in for our country, for those of you who live in the United States. And it's about our very own lives and the way that we can bring in more love into our hearts and into our space and into our lives and our connections. And these are the questions. What's making you feel suffocated? Because in that space, love can't thrive. Love can't come in. So what's making you feel suffocated? Turn that porch light on and look. What's making you feel suffocated? You've got to release it, acknowledge it, adjust, and ask yourself what you need to do differently. And then the second question is, what's the source of my struggle? And those are two questions. What is making me feel suffocated, and what is the source of my struggle? Those are two questions we don't want to look at. We want to go back into our Cancer shell. But you see, 2022 is the year where we can't do that because we're no longer in illusion. We've reached the threshold where it's either truth or consequences, and we've got to go to the truth. And that's really where we're at. So we've got that soul work to do. All right? Once you've identified those areas, look for ways you can make them better. That thing that's suffocating you, you're in control of it. That place where you're struggling, you're in control of that too. You just have to adapt and find your coping strategy that's healthy. And then you invite collaboration in. If you need help, you go to someone to help you. A friend, a colleague, a teacher, of someone you follow, and you ask for help. Because that's how you end the struggle and the suffocation. Someone throws you a lifeline. Someone throws you an oxygen. That's how you do it. So that brings up the community. And that's where we started this conversation today, is that the Cancer full moon is bringing us collaboration and cooperation with our family and our communities. And we need them in order to find those places where we struggle and where we're suffocating in order to bring more love in our life. So it's in those connections that we find the answers. And you can play this video back as many times as you want. I'm going to leave it on the page so that you can really try and do this work, because we have to do it. This is a really big turning point in all our lives. 2022 is a karmic year. It's where we got to leave karma behind and really come into our own space of what do I want to be in my life? Where do I really want to find the space that's going to allow me to bring more into my life? And where do I really need to sweep that struggle and that suffocating things off my porch? And it could be anything. It could be something that's suffocating you doesn't even have to be a partner. It could simply be something, the habit. You know, maybe it's overeating or drinking or an addiction. Maybe it's just the fact that you, for some reason, procrastinate and never have the right time to do what you really want to do. Whatever it might be, you can definitely be in control of it. You just have to release it, acknowledge it, and then adapt. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Anne. Hey, Christine. Hey, Janine. I'm looking on my comments now. If anybody wants to call into the show, we're going to do some cards. I see that you guys are sharing the show. Thank you for that. Love it. I'm going to refresh my page so I can see who else is on here. And I'm going to start pulling cards for people, so say hey in the chat so that I know who's out here. Linda, hey Linda, you finally caught the show. That's great. So not a big crowd on tonight. I think that it is probably because it is a pseudo holiday. I guess I shouldn't say that it is a holiday, right? So let's go to some cards. I'm going to pick, hey Christine, I am going to pick a card for, I guess I'll go down the whole list. First I'll do Janine, because she, I think, was one of the first ones on tonight. So, hey, how are ya? And Janine Kotz just came on. We're going to do a bunch of cards now. We've got time left to do it. So if anybody has any comment about my opening monologue, please just chime in. I'd love to hear what you guys are saying. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Oh, thank you. I love hearing from all of you guys, too. Hey, Tina made it. Great. Welcome, Tina. You're in our soul space. Hope you'll be a regular now every Monday, 7 o'clock right here. So I'm going to pick a couple of cards for Janine. Janine, I know, is a Capricorn, and we're starting to come out of Capricorn energy a little bit. The planets are moving a little bit out of Capricorn, so you should have less intensity in your life. I'm just going to ask Janine to focus on anything she wants to get a card for tonight. And if anybody wants to call into the show, we will put the number up on the screen. I'm sorry I sound a little congested. I'm actually not sick. It's just the weather. Okay, hey Janine, I got the moon card. So this moon coming in for you, I feel like is going to be pretty significant. Picking actually 3 cards for you. All right, you've been thinking about your mom a lot lately, I think, because I got the grief card. This is the grief card that we have. My cameraman just told me I had to move things over a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. I'm coming. Grassroots operation here. And the number on the screen is 516-945-9099 if anybody wants to call into the show to ask me anything. So we've got the grief card, Janine, and this card leads me to believe that you are definitely missing mom, grieving, feeling sad about some things. What I'm going to ask you to do is look up, not down. You can see in this card that the person, in a very dark shroud is looking down. But what you might not be able to see on camera is that the whole universe is actually in front of him. So try not to go into too much grief or too much thinking about the past. You want to really think forward in this energy. We've got some beautiful Aquarian energy. Mercury is going retrograde in Aquarius. It's going to show you what you need to do for the future, especially when it comes out of retrograde around February 3rd. We're all going to get some future energy pulse, I like to call it, because it's going to show us what we need to do in our future strategies. This is the Moon card. The Moon card for me, Janine, is our emotions. So I know this full moon can make a lot of people touchy-feely. What I'm going to say to you is if you got a case of the feels, try and bring your mind into something present because it's going to actually alleviate the grief that you have. We've got a caller. Hi, welcome to the Soul Space. You're talking to Georgia Rose. I like to call it because it's going to show us what we need to do in our future strategies. You have to turn down your device that you're listening to me on.
My volume?
Yeah.
I'm looking for it now. Okay. Yep, okay.
And who am I talking to?
Chris Cole.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Are you in Florida or are you in New York? I know you...
Oh, my God, am I talking to you, Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, this is so wonderful. No, I'm in freezing New York.
Oh, see? Well, it's good to hear your voice anyway.
You warmed it up for me by answering the phone and talking to me.
There you go.
Oh.
Well, you're live on air, so we got you on the Soul Space, sweetie.
Okay, well, listen, I've been listening to what you were saying.
Yeah.
And this is ringing so true for me. I mean, I've been dragging my feet and procrastinating about doing something very important regarding my partner of many, many, many years. Actually married 43, knowing one another nearly 50.
Wow. Well, what I'm going to say to you right off the bat without too much detail is I'm not going to advise, like use this time until the middle of February, like about the second week of February. Use this time to really go deep and contemplate with love your decisions because we still have Venus and Mercury both retrograde, so you don't want to do anything just yet.
Yes. Yes.
But after like February, after like the second week of February, and this goes for everybody, after that second week of February, you're going to find that the energy changes and we have more compassion in the decisions we want to make. And however you're feeling right now will change again before that time frame.
It will, but what's ringing true for me now with what you've been advising your readers is to be true to yourself.
Exactly.
You know, and look for the balance, but that can only be found with the truth. So
that is
I'm
very
not
true.
willing to, I don't want to, shove it under the rug entirely. I want to look at it, but in a loving way.
Exactly, and that's what I'm feeling for you.
Because I want to transmute it, but with love. And boy, oh boy, do I need cards pulled from me, George.
So we're going to do that. Hold on, don't go anywhere. I'm just going to finish this up for Janine, and then I'm going to pull cards for you. So Janine, this confirms for me the reading that we just did with the other two cards. If you're getting kind of the gloomy gusses kind of thing, if you're getting kind of gloomy, pull yourself out of it. Stay in present, not the past, because even this soul card, I feel like there's like a little face in this whirlpool, and it's a little bit dark, but there's light there. So you want to really pull yourself out. Not a good time for you to go into the past. Stay in the present. You've got a great future coming in. So I'm going to go to pulling cards for Chris. This is for you. I'm going to pull some cards for you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, and Janine is saying on the comments, she's saying that the holidays, and she did just have COVID. Yeah, try to, This is for Janine. Try to just stay out of that gloominess. And also this is for everybody. I'm gonna have Gina Califano back on the show soon, and she's gonna talk to us all about immunities and how we can boost our immunities naturally. So that'll be a great show. So now I'm gonna pull a card for Chris Cole. Okay, Chris. Chris, when is your birthday again? Are you a Libra?
Yes,
Okay.
10/10.
Okay. Don't ask me how I remember these things, because I never do, but when I hear the person's voice, I always remember. So I'm getting the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands to me, and I'm getting this psychically now, but I feel like for some reason, does your partner's energy align with your mother's?
Oh, golly. Yes.
Okay, because I'm getting that psychically, like I feel the energy line, and I feel like
Yes.
this decision that you're trying to make about your partner is very much karmically attached to your trauma bond or your former relationship with mom. It's like you married your mother.
I did.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
I absolutely did. That is so true.
So the next card that I pulled was the Chariot card, but it's in reverse. And the Chariot card is our decision. When the Chariot card is the right side up and not upside down, it means move forward. But I'm getting it upside down, so it's not the right time to move forward yet. And then the other card that I have is the Queen of Cups. Before you take action on this, what I'm getting is you need to do a little bit of work on healing what was the karma with your mom. So even when that person's not here anymore, we can still heal the karma by trying to release the trauma or whatever we feel is done to us and go into some kind of forgiveness. I really would love to do a session with you because I feel like there's some releasing that needs to go on, because even though partner is very much like mom and the energy line, I'm seeing it very similar, I feel like there's some work you need to do before you make your decision with the partner.
It's very true. And try as I might, repeatedly, I've not yet been able to release that energy.
I'm actually
between my mom and I.
Yeah, it goes very, very deep, and I'm going to tell you that the way I'm seeing it is it goes into more than one lifetime. So what I'm going to say after the show, I'm going to private message you. If you're willing to do some work, I have someone that I'm going to refer you to who really deals with this kind of releasing a lot.
I would love to, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and she's helped me in my life, so I think that they're just telling me to kind of put you two together. So, but it's not going to be easy work for you to releasing this. It will be hard for you, but once you do it, whether you stay with your partner or the decision is not, or whether you make some kind of decision in between, it's not going to be it's not going to be the big pivot that you're making it, because you're going to be whole.
Yes.
So I'm going to
Which
PM
is not
you.
going to be the big pivot. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last one.
I think the what I'm seeing the work you need to do now is from the past with mom. I think we're putting a lot of emphasis on the partner, and I don't think that's as big a pivot. I don't think the partner relationship is as big a pivot as you think. If you can get to a place where you've released a lot of things from the past and are more whole, you may find a way to adapt to partner differently.
Okay.
But I don't know that for certain. I'm just saying.
Because carrying that, I mean, I'm not proud that I haven't cleared that negative energy.
We all have stuff like that, though.
It's hard for me to walk around with the negative energy, because I really, and I try to make my best effort at being positive.
Right. So what I want you to do is, I'm going to give you the number of this person, this healer, after the show, but I want you to try and separate, even though I can feel the energy. I know you married your mom. I want you to I want you to try to separate the energies, because you can't work on everything all at once.
No.
Okay? And I'm going to leave you with this, because the soul card that I pulled for you is this beautiful person. It's like a person surrounded by light, and their hands are open and they're extending themselves to receive. And if you can use the energy of this full moon and the planet Uranus going direct, and you don't need to know the technical part of that, but just bring in energy. open your heart to this. Instead of thinking about releasing the past so much, all right, that will come. I want you instead to flip the energy over and allow yourself to receive the transmutation of that energy. Receive the energy that will transform it. So instead of going into the negative of, I'm not proud I have this energy, I don't like this negative energy around me, don't even think about that. Go into the light with open palms and open heart of bringing in the energy that is going to transmute that.
I'm open to receive those messages.
Yes. That's what you need to focus on. Don't even focus on the dark. I want you completely in the light. And then I'm going to give you the number for somebody that I think is really going to be able to work with you really well.
Bless you, bless you.
I love you.
You're an angel. I love you more.
have a good night. I'm going to go to the next person.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you again. Bye.
Okay, I think our next one was Tina Marie. Oh my God, here, my feed keeps changing, so. Suzanne's on too. This is like old home week. I haven't talked to anybody in so long. This is like the OG crew. You know, Chris Cole, I know, gosh, probably 15 years. And we got the OG crew on here tonight. All right, so let me go into my comments. I'm going to pull a card for Tina Marie. This is for you. Okay, Tina Marie. Okay. I want everyone to send Tina Marie love that's in the community tonight because I really feel like she just needs an uplift. She needs a little booster. All right. Okay. Tina Marie, I got the devil card for you, babe. And the devil card does not mean what you think it means. If we could have a camera on the table, that'd be great. The devil card, Tina, actually is a Capricorn card, which to me means that maybe you are working through some things that have you a little bit imprisoned. Usually when I pull that card, it's a card of self-imprisonment. Like if you saw the beginning of the show, if not, just play it back. It's going to be on my page for a while. But we talked about how we have places where we struggle or we feel suffocated. And I feel like something is really making you feel restrained and restricted, but you have the power to overcome it. You need to pull on your fire. You are a fiery girl, and you can actually pull this out and come back into your power. So I want you to kind of meditate, go into your own energy. I feel like you have other people's energy around you that's making you feel like almost like stifled or suffocated, and you need to just be alone with your own energy in order to bring your strength up. Because there's something that's bothering you, but you're going to triumph over it because I feel your energy like really like rising to the surface. And once you do that, you're going to recognize that that's the way you need to adapt to the energy. All right. So I don't know if Bobby's out in the hallway, if he could give me the camera that goes on the table so they can see these cards. Thank you. So this devil card is a Capricorn card. It's not the actual devil. It's not that. It's a Capricorn card because it's a card of self-imprisonment. So there's something, Tina, that you're allowing to restrain and restrict you. And I need you to go into your own energy. Stop listening to other people. Stop allowing their energy to come into your energy field. Allow yourself to be in your own essence because your strength is there. And once you do that, you're going to have recognition. I've got this beautiful card, Wands is activity. You're going to have the strength you need to go into action. Okay? So that's for Tina Marie. I got room for a couple of more people here on time-wise. I am going to... Love you, Tina. We're all sending hugs to Tina. See that? You guys are so great. We have so much love in the community tonight. It's really awesome. So let's see what else we got here. I'm not seeing all my comments. Hold on. Okay, where are all my comments? And I'm going to pick a card now for Linda D'Amore because she very rarely gets to see the show. Love you, Tina. She gets to see the show Oh, you're back from Oregon. Suzanne is our world traveler. Everyone welcome Suzanne home. I'm going to do a card for Linda D'Amore, and then I'll do one for Christine Fay. So Linda, I feel like something with work for you. How is Cancer affecting Pisces? I will tell you, as far as this full moon goes, it's not so much the Cancer full moon, Elaine, as right now you've got planet's going into Pisces, and Neptune is in Pisces. So you may feel a little bit foggy brained, like fog brained, like, kind of not so clear. But you also, and I know it's going to sound conflicting message, but Elaine, you also might actually feel like you are connecting more to the other side and other realms more than you are connecting to Earth or people. Because that Pisces energy is going to make you real, that Cancer and Pisces energy, your Pisces energy is being amplified, and that's your radio antenna. So the Cancer is going to give you the touchy-feely, but just with the other planets that are in Pisces right now, your ability to connect to other realms is off the charts. I mean, you're probably like getting messages like crazy right now. All right, so this is for Linda. All right, Linda. We've got Queen of Wands again. You guys saw me shuffle and pull out of the middle of the deck. Queen of Wands is on fire tonight. That's a lot of Aries energy, Sagittarius, all of our fire sign energy. So, Linda, there's something that you're indecisive about, but I feel like it's starting to make you angry a little bit. And I feel like it's something at work. Maybe somebody said something to you, or somebody's putting a restriction on you that you don't like. I feel like you're going to change jobs. I feel like there's something at the place where you're currently working that just does not jive with you. Don't even get upset over it. Just sharpen your resume, because there's something else out there for you. And I got to shuffle these. And yeah, I feel like you're worried about moving away from this, but you've got to move away from it. Could also be a physical move, thinking about moving your home, but for some reason I'm feeling like it has something to do with moving job. So that's what I'm getting. Yeah, and what I'm going to say to you is the universe is going to reward you, because the soul card that I'm getting is like a kiss from the universe, and I feel like you're worried, you're almost worried to the point where you're getting angry, but you have to make some kind of a move. Yeah, new beginnings, but you're delaying them for some reason, and they're really good beginnings. So don't delay. I would wait until after the 3rd of February, but definitely start preparing, okay? And then for my last card of the night, I'm going to pull one for Christine Fay. Christine is a warrior. She is somebody who's always in there doing her soul work. If anything, Christine is somebody who is always releasing, acknowledging, and adjusting and adapting. She's just a beautiful, beautiful person. So we're going to pull a couple of cards for her tonight. Everybody send Christine some energy for good health. Good health in 2022. She's had a couple of challenges. Christine, you need quiet repose. That card just flew out of the deck. It's the Three of Swords. The Four of Swords. This is, you've got to stay in your own energy a little bit. Pets are very healing for you. I've noticed that you have some pets come around you. But what I'm going to say is that you really do need to be in your own energy, not the energy of other people for a little while. That's going to help you make the decisions that you're trying to make. And the universe brings you a lot of gifts in that energy. So you need quiet. You need silence. You need to shut off the outside world and the externals a little bit and just be in your own energy field. That's what I'm getting for you, Christine. And the soul cards are kind of proving that to me, because they're showing me light all around the head and healing taking place, but that you've got to slow down, stop, almost like get off the merry-go-round and just be in quiet. Okay? I think that's all I have time for tonight. Maybe one more. I'll do one more tonight. Who have I got here? You know what? I'm going to pull a card for Melissa. I think it's her first time here. So let's do some cards for Melissa. Melissa, I'm getting a young child around you, or a younger child around you. Maybe somebody who's been a little bit sick lately, nothing too serious. That's what I'm getting. I don't know if it's your child or a child around you or what. Telling me to pick. Whoa. Yeah, it's definitely something with health, because that card just came right out of the deck. I feel like you're waiting for news, maybe a test result of some kind or something, but it's okay. This is going to be good. And whatever you are planning is going to be delayed. I feel like somebody's sick, you're waiting for a test result or a result to see if you can go forward with your plans. Plans are not going to happen. They need to be delayed. Yeah, there's a reason for that. There's something much bigger happening on the horizon. You don't want to make any moves right now. But the person you're worried about with the illness is definitely okay. They have a little bit of recovery time to do, which is going to bump out whatever this plan was that is going to be delayed, whether it's a trip or a project or something. Maybe you not going back to work when you thought, but I feel like this is definitely a delay due to illness of somebody that's around you. And I'm getting definitely a child around that area. So could be a parent that's childlike. I don't know. It could be both. So that's what I'm getting for Melissa. All right. So I'm going to look in the comments. I got a bunch of new comments. And we're going to wrap it up. She's in the room with her son right now. Okay. So if there's somebody around you, Melissa, that is, mildly sick, not like hospital sick, but just having some kind of a detriment, they're going to be okay. But I feel like you delay something because of this. So take that with you and just be careful and stay safe. All right, everybody. So that's our show for tonight. Please tune in next Monday night at 7 o'clock here on Strong Island and on Facebook Live. We'd love to see you. And you can always find me on Facebook, Zencuda by Georgia Rose, Zencuda Official on YouTube. I'm sorry, Zencuda Official on Instagram. And of course, on my YouTube channel, where you'll see this show and all the other shows that I do and other videos about astrology, spirituality, psychic ability, everything. That's Zencuda on YouTube. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll see you next Monday at 7 o'clock. Bye-bye.